Anything else needed? Alright, well, we'll be going live here in just a second with the first match of the day, which is awesome. But just waiting for the players to give us the go-ahead before we get onto it. So, you guys are watching the IEM Shanghai qualifiers, online qualifiers. Everyone's saying go, go. Let's just hop into it. Alright, so we're also going to find out how good the quality settings are. Hopefully things are okay. But again, we are really testing today. It's really difficult not having the second monitor to, well, frankly, monitor this, but hopefully it'll be okay for you guys. Let's close the other stream stuff. Just one sec, folks. Yeah, I gotta... Ooh, oh boy, I gotta adjust these mouse settings. Give me uno momento here. Alright, mouse and keyboard. Let's bring some of these way down. Way down. Alright, graphics are good. Oh, I forgot to disable mouse scrolling. Sorry, one sec. Boom. Alright, with that, it's a little bit rough around the edges. We'll get it sorted. Welcome to the IEM Shanghai broadcast. Spawning here in the bottom left for the first qualifier of the day. We have the red Protoss. Whoa, patience. Alright, that scroll needs to be fixed too. His opponent, however, in the upper right, going to be the Blue Terran, formerly known as Salvation. So that's what you'll see him as on the brackets. But it is, of course, Forte. And oh no, we happen to witness a bit of an SCV misclick there. Awkward. Alright. Well, one sec here, guys. I've just got to fix a couple of things on my end. Namely, first off, that scrolling. Drag scroll speed goes way down. There we go. Oh, and last but not least, smart camera pan is always a nice thing to have on. Makes things a little bit nicer when available. But okay, I think we're about good to go. I should be able to edit the channel titles and stuff. Where's the dashboard? So you guys have to understand, I'm getting so much of this stuff like on the fly, so I really do appreciate your patience. Ha! Casting patience. Patience versus Forte. Boom. All right. So anyways, I don't know a lot about Forte recently. He actually hasn't been playing in nearly as many online cups as he has done in the past. But Patience, unfortunately, what we have seen out of him is a lot of losses. And in fact, I spoke with him about this briefly since he was waiting, and we're kind of friends. And I said, like, so how you been, man? Like, what's the scene like? And he's been very sad and bogged down because he's had so many losses these last couple months. But says today he's feeling pretty good, and he's hoping for a chance to qualify. So I'm not sure if he's just saying that or if he's actually feeling good. But Patience is a pretty earnest guy, so I'm hoping for good things for him. But, sorry, one sec. I saw that Reaper go by. I'm just fixing this cord. Oh, sorry, guys. A lot of these problems will stop. It's just a matter of the setup. So for those who don't know what's going on here, just a quick TLDR, because it'll be brought up later, I'm sure. Currently casting from not my house, as we had an arrangement made to be in California. So I brought some of my audio equipment, a friend lent us some gear, and that's what we're working off of today. Now this SCV's been a little bit cheeky, but it's a bit late. Don't think we're going to see much in the ways of proxies down here. Patience missing the last shot on that SCV-2 with the transfer, not by choice, but by unfortunate circumstance. And really good micro out of Forte, actually, pulling back those weak SCVs. Loses just one so far, I believe. One worker down. Reaper comes in, confirms that the scout is going to be Stargate, and that it is. I don't know if he saw the Oracle. He probably saw the Oracle if he looked at it one second. It was a little bit tough. He got in there just early enough that he might not have been able to tell it was an Oracle. Regardless, Patience isn't really geared up to do anything too gross or crazy just yet. Normally what we would see here is a lot more dedication if that's the case, but he has not gone down any discernible tech path yet. No Twilight Council, no Robo follow-up. He is just getting gateways for the time being, so he might be looking to add in a couple of adepts for some pressure, but realistically, he's going to need something a little spicier than that if he wants to break Forte. Who, back at home, by the way, did go for the Cyclone on his end, but more unconventionally, a proxy starport did come down. I saw the SCV chilling for a while. I thought it was a bit late. We wouldn't start the starport this late, surely, is what I was thinking. But now it's really important that Oracle gets to the base to scout. Right now, what he's seen doesn't look so odd. But, excuse me, still waking up here. Banshees are maybe not the meta unit right now, but still can be devastating. If you've recently caught some of this on Base Trade TV's stream, you've seen these Banshees get upwards of 10 kills each when being maneuvered by folks like Gumiho. So I don't think he'll have Cloak initially. And we did see Patience warp in some Stalkers, but I believe it was all offensive. Yeah. So this could be a problem for Forte. Those Banshees might get some good damage, but this is a pretty big break at his front door. So I said maybe he wasn't going all in because there was a lack of tech. Patience still isn't quite dedicated enough to make this a big all-in call, but I think the dedicated pressure should keep up. I don't think he should pull back with it. Other side of the map, Banshee does get into that mineral line. There's nothing here to stop it. This is a big problem, but the difference is it's a lot easier for Patience to build one Phoenix than it is for Forte to build an anti-all-in force. His bunker was shreked. His command center was pushed off. He pushes down rather boldly, I'll say, too, trying to bait these into the tank fire, but I'm not sure. These Stalkers could really stay out of range of that pretty easily. Banshee Home does have Revelation Cast on it, so no more Cloak for it. That one Stalker's almost dead from that tussle earlier, though. Second Banshee comes in, too, and Forte's getting some pretty good probe damage in here. But this is where we talked about just making a Phoenix to clean up the rest of this, right? Phoenix, for those who don't know, bonus damage to Banshees, so it takes him out pretty quick. Banshees are kind of fragile. But while this dance goes on, he forgets to cloak the Banshee because he was just kind of leaving it on an auto attack. Back on the other side of the map, he's really concerned about getting his own natural base down. So, unfortunately, I guess I can't show you the income graph. I did put Game Hard on, yeah. Anyways, that might be specific to the UI, and we're using the WCS 3.0. 15 workers versus 10 killed. Not a bad trade. Forte did lose control of his natural, though, for a significant amount of time. He finally has his back. With these tanks, I don't see a way for Patience to break him anytime soon. So, Patience just calmly taking his third back on the other side of the field behind it. Change the screen, bro. What? We should be on the right scene. Oh, the ESL thing's off, though. I gotta fix that. Wish I'd seen that earlier. Okay, well, the starport's being taken care of as we speak. I'm gonna just try and fiddle with this real quick here, guys. Put that in a bit better spot. That's still off slightly. Hold up. What? There's like a little black bar here I'm trying to get rid of. There we go. That should be nestled in nicely. Nailed it. Anyways, starport is driven off. It's actually going to die by the looks of it. There's no way to stop unless he drops a mule. Banshee will try and take out the Stalkers in a bit of revenge, but I mean, honestly, not really worth it, unfortunately. This is a cheeky Widow Mine. I might try baiting one of the Oracles into. The worst thing would be if the Phoenix goes in, because the Phoenix is the only unit here that can actually eat that shot. But it looks like Patience knew about it, so keen eyes on this guy and good retention skills. Other side of the map, Force out of Patience isn't looking too bad. He is getting down to Blink. He's also got the +1 weapons, so there's a fair bit of good going for him right now, but unfortunately, I still don't think he's breaking tanks anytime soon. So Forte goes for this push. He does not have combat shields for this. It's just stim. He's getting caught in the back end, too, which means some of these tanks might just go down to these Stalkers if Patience is paying better attention. Ends up just kind of walking into the Marine fire. A little bit awkward there. Loses the Stalkers for it. This is a big throw out of Patience. I'm not too sure what else he was looking at there on the minimap. Because, yeah, he's pretty set back on his side of the map. Throwing down those 4 extra gateways may have been what caused him to look away and cost him a lot of his army. But +1 weapons can help out a bit. No charge with this, to note. Looks like a pretty decent fight. Remember, they've got stim. They don't have combat shields. Combat shields will be finishing very shortly. +1 to pair with it. This will be really nice for the Marines. So Patience. Well, a couple of Guardian Shields and I guess a Force Field or 2 could keep the push from coming down, but no easy way to get on top of those tanks right now. I love the idea of the Phoenix maybe picking one of them up, but there's too many Marines giving cover right now. 2 medevacs segmented to the left can make this really problematic for Patience. He doesn't have enough forces to really split. Even though the army supply is fairly similar, the amount of, you need to put a significant amount of stalkers to catch those medevacs. So, ooh, this is a big thing with the watchtower. The probe might have gone down, but he just saw what was coming, and this gives Patience maybe a little bit of leeway to start repositioning himself. Yeah, medevacs start hitting over the right side. Bottom right chases off the army. Adepts and sentries are, they're an okay force. If we're gonna be honest, it ain't nothing special, but it's enough to scare off the army. He doesn't know the Resonating Glaives is not done. And this is a big problem for Patience. As we see, your tanks just blast away at everything on the front lines. It doesn't matter whether you're armored or light. Tanks bring the damage. Widowmine's gonna plant down with this too, and I'm really liking Forte's army for this. A couple Liberators really just seal the deal, but Force Fields go down once again. He backs away. Widowmine's going off on the Phoenix, going off on the Stalkers. No chance to Graviton Beam up the tanks. Graviton Beam at this point, like the crowd control element would be great, but still a Widowmine here that hasn't gone off. He blinks forward. That was bold. That was really bold, but he focus fires the tank on the right side. Immortal's pushing off the Marauders on the left, and I really like the way he chose to take that fight. If the Stalkers had done what the Immortals did and vice versa, the Stalkers would have died to these Marauders. But Immortals, they can take the Marauder shots like this. So now pushing back Forte. Back at home, he doesn't have a big setup of rallied units, but he is building more, so production is keeping up. Resources lost, fairly similar for this stage of the game. But the Liberator element of this makes it very interesting, because Patience is throwing out a second Robo and looking to possibly add Colossus into the mix. Now, Zombie and I have actually discussed this quite a bit on stream. Maybe you've heard us talk about this before on our channel, but for those who don't really know, Colossus, while perhaps not a direct counter to Liberators, are a way to make the Liberators really stressed about doing their job. Right now, the way it's set up, whether you actually have enough Stalkers or not is irrelevant. The Liberators will leapfrog in and eventually push you out, especially when there's 4 to 6 of them. But when Colossus come into play, they can actually take the hit, they can mow down the bio, and let those Stalkers get in there underneath said Liberators. So he's sitting on about 4 banked up. Looks like he's using them for harass at the moment, though. And he's not really consolidating an attack with them. Oh, nice catch on that medevac, though. Full of Widowmines, gets completely shut down. Liberator on the left side was revealed. Stalkers caught that just now. His Liberator count is knocked down to 3. He did have another one? Yeah, it's just hiding in the bottom right for now. Oh, I called Colossus, but you know what? He's gone for Gravitic Drive combined with Disruptors. This is going to be really interesting. For those who don't know, that's going to be the Warp Prism speed. It'll make those Warp Prisms really fast, but that gives the maneuverability for these Disruptors to possibly get some amazing shots. I mean, as good as Forte is, we got to see... Whoa, where'd the production tab go? Why is the production tab in the bottom right now? Hello? What? Why, though? I don't want to see this down here. I want to see this up here. What did I just press to do this, guys? I didn't even know this was a thing you could do, if we're going to be completely honest. So... is there a... There's an options menu there. We'll look at it in a second. Not important for the time being. Big drop on that third base, but this isn't that big of a deal of a base. To comment more on it, ooh, what am I shot and Disruptor shot gets quite a bit of damage, but focus down these medevacs, picks one off, forward unloads. Not that many Marauders left, but the Stalkers can't fight alone. They need some sort of assistance through these warp pits. Get those Adepts on the front line, get a Disruptor shot in there, anything. Patience right now is also getting hit on the right side while this goes on. He's fighting 2 battles at the same time. Overcharge pops off, and Adepts try and hold the line, but this Marauder force might just be a little bit too much. Drop in the main did a great job distracting, and it got some damage done too, but if this base goes down, if this Nexus falls, it's really going to hurt. Lasting damage that Patience isn't going to have fun recovering from. He is, of course, countering a little bit with his own Warp Prism on the other side of the map, but it's nothing like losing a Nexus, not just yet. A couple of my shots on top of this, focus to the Disruptors, and oh, this attack went so well for Forte. That being said, now he's got the task of dealing with the Adepts. He's on 4 bases himself, so he's in a pretty comfy spot, but he's bleeding out a lot of SCVs and still can't quite deal with that Warp Prism. There's, of course, no Viking. He's just going to drag and drop the medevacs and hope for the best. Ooh, I really don't like the production being down here, though. All right, guys, we're gonna take a quick hot second here to figure out what button I pressed. I actually don't see what button that was. Oh my gosh. Toggle top left intro? No. I didn't hit Control Shift O, Shift L, Control W. Nope. Oh, cool. That doesn't bring it back. I just ruined the game. Hello, everybody. There we go. I can't. I don't know how to bring this back, so we're just gonna leave that down there for the time being, and apologize profusely because I guess there's some new functionality added that I wasn't aware of. Normally, I'm pretty up to date with these things, and I feel rather silly, but my bad, fam. My bad. Widowmine gets a decent shot off over here. Patience is really trying to put the screws to Forte. He knows he just took a lot of damage from the Terran, but not going to kill his command center. The Adepts are going to go down. He does push this one off, and he's going to catch a lot of SCVs. Oh, Forte, why are you not running these SCVs away? That's a big mistake. But you know what? When you get double the army supply, maybe it doesn't quite matter. Disruptor gets kind of self-juked there as he picks it up in the Warp Prism prematurely. Marauder is collapsing on the army. Only 2 Immortals remain. GG. Forte will take game number 1. And I need to figure out what button I pressed that game so that I can never press it again. But I do know the next map coming up is going to be Proxima Station, so let's get that loaded up real quick. Sorry again for the hiccups, guys. There's Patience and Forte here. Patience. Okay, well, I've invited him. I don't know where he is, but not on base trade today. Rifkin, no. We're casting on the ESL channel. So in the end, both Wardy and Rifkin went back on their word, or is ESL offering better conditions? We worked out a better deal with ESL. If we're going to be completely honest, and I've spoken with them openly about this, I would prefer to use our own channels. And Wardy, I think, is in the same boat, but we're not allowed to. So we're working with them through the ESL channels today. Is ready? Go, go, go. Awesome. Let's hop into it. Game number 2 on Proxima Station. I'm not sure what map number 3 is, but if we get to it, players will, of course, let me know promptly. Alright. Just tabbed out for one moment, taking a quick look at the brackets, trying to see if there's any cool updates. Good to see Zest getting through this. Leanlock advancing too. We're a little bit behind with Patience and Salvation. Winner of this plays likely Keen, which could be cool, but a couple of the Forte, Snoot and Bly still going at it. Cool, cool, cool. Alright, well, welcome back to game number 2. Spawning here in the upper right, we do have the blue Terran player, Forte, formerly known as Salvation. And at the bottom left, we got the red Protoss, Patience. And I need to grab a drink. Just one sec, guys. Alright, got me a little bit of water. Not going to touch that $7 hotel water, though. Oh my gosh. But yeah, one sec here. We're good to go. So that was a pretty rough game for Patience. Forte did a lot of things very right, but I think the 2 things I question out of Patience was, 1, the choice to go for disruptors over something like Colossus, but B, also like his kind of, I'm gonna call it a kind of all-in that was at the start of that game. And the reason I say this was because that was a move that I think went a little bit better than expected, so Patience ended up dedicating a little bit more than he may have initially planned to. However, as we saw, it didn't quite work out at the end. I don't blame him for it, too, because it looked like he was getting quite a bit done. But, yeah, Forte played that really well. I liked his macro. I liked the fact that he was able to recover. There was that one brief moment in that game, too, where he was really just at a loss of army. His production had only just kicked in. Had Patience put the screws to him, maybe that really could have wrecked it. But, yeah, generally speaking, I think... he played. There wasn't a lot of mistakes out of Forte. You know, the drops that were getting picked off were not necessarily his fault. A lot of that had to do with just Patience being really attentive. But anyways, we'll see what Game 2 has in store. Let's not forget that Forte also did a little bit of some cheese with that Banshee attack early on. Which, you know, I didn't actually catch it at the time, but it really did offset his medevac count. Like, keep in mind, I think Forte had a stim timing and almost was at combat shields before the first medevacs made it to the army. Kind of scary to consider if you're a Terran player. But Patience moving out. Probe in tow, so it might just have the pylon attack for this. Wait, did he skip the mothership? No, yeah, she's on the way. I was like, no way, he's going to fake this, but... This attack always ends up being pretty nice for the Protoss. Usually it gets 2 depots, but ooh, timing on this will not work out well for Patience. Forte was initially putting down that second supply depot over there, but ends up not doing that. Puts the bunker down instead. Overcharge still in range of the bunker, though. Oh, feels bad, man. Should easily be able to get this reactor. Not to mention maybe shave off a Marine or two, but depots would ideally start coming down in the back of the base so he doesn't get supply blocked, but I don't know if he's thinking about that right now. This is going to sting for him, that's for sure. No second depot. He's actually rushing out to repair it. He knows how important this is. Cyclone goes for the lock-on, but the anti-air capabilities of a Cyclone are they're okay at best. Now, as this bleed him dry, a couple of SCVs went down to the Adept that had transferred through here, but not enough energy for another overcharge. This does seem to successfully bait units out of the mineral line, but as we see here, Forte was very quick to put down an engineering bay. He knew the follow-up to this was going to be an Oracle, so even if the Cyclones and Marines were not in position, which they were, those turrets, he was covered on the back end. I really like this play out of Forte. I think this was an absolutely excellent defense, and he knew exactly what to do. Following up with what he would predict his opponent to do as well, absolutely shuts this down out of Patience. Now, this kind of sucks for Patience for a couple of different reasons, but one of the big things is Forte's going for a Raven right now. This is going to be big problems in a couple of different ways. First off, the Raven's kind of fragile, right? Phoenixes will mow it down, Stalkers will shoot it down. Anything kills the Raven quickly, frankly. But if he doesn't manage to see it early enough, if he doesn't kill it fast enough, then that gets enough energy for a point defense drone. Forget auto turrets. I know we've seen auto turrets, and they've been the theme of Ravens for the last few months. But he's going to have combination detection for free, and combination ways to shut down projectiles. So let's say you're relying on the overcharge and a couple of stalker shots to stop those Banshees, to stop those Marines. Throw down the point defense drone, and suddenly you don't care about the photon overcharge for about 30 seconds, right? Like, there's a lot of ways this Raven is actually going to be very, very deadly to this weird push, because I'm going to call it a weird push. It's got Banshees with Cloak following it up. Tank on the way. A handful of Marines that don't really have tech, and I was going to say, if he doesn't put down some extra barracks soon, I'm going to start thinking he's going mech with this, but there we go. 2 extra barracks, 3rd CC. This will time out really interesting, actually. So Cloak's going to finish up. The tank's going to finish up. He's probably going to swap off both of these barracks onto those tech labs to start stim in combat shields simultaneously. I'm not sure how far of a long game he's looking to play with this, but it's literally one Cloak Banshee with, like, well, with Cloak. I was going to say, I didn't realize they called it a Cloak Banshee. Please, mod, update the brackets. Okay, I've got the ability to do that now, actually. Give me a sec here, guys. I should, at least. Test. They're supposed to give me mod, but they haven't done that yet. It feels bad, man. So I don't know that I can do that for y'all just yet. But the brackets, you can find through the ESL page pretty easily. Well, I say easily. If you've never used the ESL site, you might not know how to navigate it. But I'll try and get you guys a link or something here shortly. I'm just afraid the bot's going to time me out, too, because it doesn't recognize my authority. But anyways, less on the chat, more on the game. We do have that Raven still in play. I really, really think that a point defense drone is going to be super duper cool. But at the same time, the functionality of auto turrets is still definitely there. They're high priority targeting. They've got quite a bit of health, so you know the Adepts will waste shots on them, things like that. The additional gateways for Patience just now finishing up, so he's gonna have some nice production, some good warp-ins here in a bit. Opens in resonating glaives. Of course, that third CC coming down for Forte. Alright, so the Cyclones left over from the early game aren't going to have too much of a role going forward. Their anti-air is not very strong. It's not going to be pushing off Phoenix anytime soon, but they're still good scrappers. You can put those on the front lines, and they can trade out blow for blow with a lot of units. Not to mention, he does have a pretty good marine count, but that timing now finishing up, as I said, stim, combat shields, you name it. I do like the insistence to constantly cast Revelation here out of Patience. He could, and you could argue should, be casting Revelation with more priority on this army, but knowing where the medevacs are, knowing where that Raven is, highly, highly valuable information. Trip all over my words. He does scan the third, and of course the fourth base is on the way, but he doesn't know about that just yet, so Patience might get away with this. There is a degree to argue here where Forte isn't doing much in terms of harass, but I think he knows there's Phoenix. He knows that he's constantly being revealed, so there's not going to be any sneak attack element to it. That's usually where medevacs work best. We've seen a lot of commentators talk about this, and it is definitely a good point. If you are worried that your opponent's gone, like let's say mass Phoenix Adept, well, you have to sit at home. You have to bulk up your forces. You can't really afford to go for little splinter cell drops here and there. So Forte's making a lot of the right moves, but for the wrong strategy. Also, this Widowmine missile turret combination is going to be sick. This won't quite kill the Warp Prism, but it might just push it into the missile turret. No, just barely not. Okay, 4 Adepts might just get out of here alive. Unless the Marine. No way. Hero Marine? Stim? Okay, he misses it. Bottom side Phoenix are on patrol. We got the... Ooh, so we might see a little bit more dedicated Liberators this game. First off, it is a second starport already. You know, he didn't lose the first one. Hey, shots fired at that first game. But the Fusion Core for that extended... not Thermal Lance. What is the Liberator upgrade called? I can't for the life of me remember at the top of my head here. But either way, Advanced Ballistics or whatever you want to know it as, Liberator range is going to be huge. I like this full wall off at the front, the tank set up behind it. He knows Patience isn't pushing into him anytime soon, but Patience at the same time, like pylons all over the map. He's got the Warp Prism down here. He'll see any attack coming out of Forte because this will have been revealed for a majority of the game. There you go. What is that called? Cool, I can't mouse over it on this overlay. I love WCS 3.0, guys. Alright, so that Raven, I'm really curious to see the functionality here. I think that a point defense drone is going to be its best friend, its best asset, but it can also be very easily picked off for you when I have a chance to do that. Soccer count out of Patience is actually really good, frankly. Also, I gotta give a big shout out to Joey. His computer runs StarCraft so smoothly. I don't know if you're watching right now, Joey, but I love you, man. Thanks for helping set this up. Bioforce getting a little bit big. Army supplies for both are just frankly awesome. Upgrades are kind of close too, but there's a definite lead here for Forte. But Liberator's looking to set up. Slap down the no-fly zone. Well, I guess the no-walk zone, really. Stimming and splitting and staying away from the disruptors. I mean, Patience showed some pretty decent disruptor control in game 1. It's just he didn't have enough for the timing for it, but he's got to be careful. He's possibly looking to instigate a base trade here. Not that I just love using that word, but it would be a bad choice in my opinion. However, he will catch some of the army segmented here in the middle, not realizing this though, because this is a lot of army missing from that middle force. But disruptor shots aren't there. Liberators set up. You don't want to push into those siege tanks. I do like that we see Colossus coming out this game, though. I talked a little bit on this last time. To be perfectly clear, Colossus are like not a direct counter to Liberators, but they force a very different style of play. And right now, Forte has all the control. He just lays down a line with those Liberators, and there's nothing Patience can really do about it. If he wants to blink into it, he's blinking into tank fire. Feels bad, man. Blinking into Marauder fire feels even worse, man. But while I'm talking about all of this, we do have two very different tech paths opening up. So Ghost Academy gets slapped down out of Forte. But most importantly, and most notably, he is insisting on upgrading ship weapon upgrades. Nice stasis trap here and there. Ship weapon upgrades, of course, going to benefit those Liberators greatly, not just for the air, but mostly for the ground. And that's where the dynamic of Colossus comes in. But that was a beautiful double disruptor shot, taking out 3 of the siege tanks. that we're stuck in that front line. Siege tanks have the most range of anything in play. You know, we could talk about Liberators for days, but really, extended thermal lance aside, Siege tanks have got the best range for that ground fight. Sending up those Liberators once again, though he's not quite ready to fight Patience, that is. He's also going for a fleet beacon, and I'm wondering if this is just to get a couple of Tempests to keep those Liberators from zoning him out so hardcore, but every time we've seen this engagement come down, it's all on the Stalkers, really. Positioning, maneuvering, dancing around this, and it's really, unfortunately, on Patience. Forte's got all the control to slowly but surely creep up, get that Nexus down. A couple of Marauders get shots off here, too. He's taking a decent fight. But while this goes on, he segments a portion of his forces to go to the top left. Only cannons here to defend, really. Disruptor shot's going to be pretty nice in the bio for what's on the ground. If those get removed from play, you just walk underneath the Liberators. But that being said, as we see here, there might not be enough Stalkers left over. Maybe? No, he's got it. He's got it for sure. The point defense drones we saw, too. 2 of them came down, was really nice. 9 adepts being warped in, though. Looks like he cleaned up the attack here, so not going to lose more than a couple of probes, and now goes for the counter. This hurts for Forte because he was relying a lot on those Liberators, and he lost a lot of them just now, but as we can also see, Patience retained his bigger units. The Colossus stayed alive. The Phoenix are still up. He mostly traded out Stalkers for that fight, and that's exactly what he wanted to do. Well, actually, what he wanted to do is just win here and not lose anything. But another disruptor shot looking to hit those Marauders. Not quite going to hit the mark. Colossus can still work out well for that, but we are not quite at the critical mass to deal with Marauders. They still favor Forte for that engagement path. But finally finish up his +3 weapons. We'll be caught up now because Patience has, of course, been on 3-3 for a little bit. That's a lot of Liberators. And the Colossus are unfortunately getting flanked from the right side. This works out really well as he does focus fire with the Liberator. A couple more shots go in, but it looks like the Phoenixes are still going to be the Kingmakers here. They'll push off the Medivacs, they'll lift up the Marauders. And this small force out of Patience looks like it should be enough to kill Forte, but Forte's not down yet. He's got a Planetary he's going to sit behind, maybe mass repair this, buy some more time. He did have a Liberator set up over here to deny some mining, but I don't know, guys. Looking at the supply, even 97 army supply to 66. There's some probes on the front line. I don't think this is BM. I think this is all the probes he pulled away from the base with the Liberator. Just said, screw it, I'll micro these on the front line. Disruptor's continuing to still get some pretty good shots. Units lost this game. Yikes. Actually, resources lost starting to really pile up here for Forte, but yeah, command center goes down. That's never a good sign. Another command center here going to get canceled too at this rate. A lot of Stalkers just blink forward because you know what? You got a lot of Stalkers. Why the hell not? Marauders actually getting some good shots because of that aggressive blink, but I think Disruptor on the ground. Now starting to focus fire down some of those Liberators. And Patience is just bullying his way to victory here. GG gets called. We are going to go to map number 3. Okay, well, now I gotta go see what the third map is, because Patience and Forte never actually told me. Third map. I still don't have admin. I'm gonna trying to link, but I'm sure I'll get timed out. Rockets. Odyssey. Let's hop into it. Oh, hold up, guys. I've been told to maybe put a pause on here by the one of the admins, perhaps. One sec. Let's get Patience here. What's up, guys? Okay, hop into game through Forte versus Patience. Sorry, there's a little bit of confusion there. Sounds good. Because I guess we're going to be casting a bunch of matches still following this. And they were trying to figure out which matches we were going to cast. What's up in here? But Senpai, you said Liberators counter Colossus. No, I said it's completely the other way around, man. I said Colossus are kind of an interesting not counter to Liberators, and what we got to see there was a pretty good example of why. I guess we can talk a little bit more about that in a moment. Let's just hide that. That's the wrong button to press. We are tied up 1-1. Actually, which round are we in right now? We're still in the round of 32, by the way. So as we get to the round of 16, there's about 8 matches. We're casting 4 per stream. About 4 best of 3s at least coming your way, guys. But spawning here in the top left, he is, of course, just recently tied up the series. It is the blue Protoss Patience. With his opponent at the bottom right, the red Terran Forte, formerly known as Salvation. And Patience coming across with a pretty early probe. But yeah, to talk a little bit about that dynamic, we're actually seeing this a bit more recently, and I'm not sure what has sparked this to become more common for Protoss players, because we were seeing air dominance, with Phoenix Adept being the primary, I guess, strategy out of most of the Protoss players. Terran weren't really even having the option for Liberators. They'd just be shut down too early. So now that Liberators are back in fashion, what's kind of cool is seeing the Colossus dynamic into it. So Colossus obviously cannot shoot up. It cannot kill a Liberator. And 100% of the situations, a Liberator should kill a Colossus. But the Colossus has this excellent way of forcing fights on the ground and through the ground that the Liberators, yeah, they like one-shot everything, sure, but then they have to wait a long time to shoot again, right? And that's where those weapon upgrades for Forte were going to be starting to get critical. I think you need +3 to start two-shotting Stalkers that are fully upgraded. I could be wrong on that. It's either +3 or +2. But the point is, like, upgrades are fairly important to that sort of dynamic. Regardless of it, though, it's not really on Patience to say, like, oh, I'm gonna go Colossus as the opener. Usually, you'll actually see that as a response nowadays. And that's exactly what we saw in that last game. And I really thought Patience made a lot of very good decisions in reaction to what Forte had presented to him. But Forte this game, not doing anything too cheeky, and a big part of this probe scout, I think, was to secure that information. Seeing the command center go down was...
More pylons.
Oh!
Time for a proxy, maybe.
Patience is using the Diva announcer. Today I learned. Anyways, he did see, very importantly, that the command center came down. So it didn't really matter. You know there's not going to be a starport proxy or anything quite so silly if this is the case. This also opens up the opportunity for him to possibly come in with those pylons again, maybe do a bit of a poke, but he doesn't actually have a mothership core on the way. He's going straight to the Stargate, so if there are any pylons that come down, it'll be totally fake. This is kind of neat, though. Having juked out the Reaper, he does actually get that probe in there to delay, not stop, but delay the command center. He's going to lose the probe. Oh, nice kill by the SCV. Other side of the map, I think the Reaper got out alive. Yeah, he's just chilling here in the pool. The healing pools on Odyssey. Also got to double check I'm on the right scenes. Man, I'm sorry, guys. I got to tell you, I've been doing this job casting them StarCrafts for a while. Okay, he's going to go proxy Stargate, or Starport. But for the 4 years I've been broadcasting, I've always had 2 monitors. It's really difficult doing this with 1. I can't check things, and I'm all paranoid about it. But anyways, the proxy starport's really interesting for this. I don't know that I feel it's even necessary with the opener he went with, but might still just get away with some more cheeky Banshee use. A couple Hellions paired up too is going to certainly cause some trouble in the natural. Did he start another starport already? No, sorry, the same one. My mistake. I was like, man, he's really going crazy for this. 2-port Banshee? Who does that? But, oh man, Oracle use, couple of adept shots. Those Hellions got shut down so quick. The Reaper got 1 probe kill. Kind of sucks for Forte. He's also bleeding out some more SCVs to this one annoying adept. Phoenix on the way. Again, direct counter to shut down any sort of Banshee play. I feel like Patience has just got Forte's number this game. You know, that first game may have been a bit of a fluke for Forte. I really like Patience's control. He played the long game, map 2. This time around, though, he's really shutting him down fast. Mothership Core's got the overcharge, but hits it a bit late, so those Hellions will slip by and start roasting some of the probes, but not going to get nearly enough for this to be too worthwhile. Although, he stacks them. I don't care if it's 1 Hellion. Never stack those probes, guys. Oh, crap. All right, well, might not have cared so much because he triggered the Widow Mine elsewhere. No, he didn't trigger it yet. It's still off cooldown, so Big hit, kills the Adepts. Another one comes in, kills another Adept. Not bad, but 2 Adepts and the Oracle still waiting to kill these. Oracle actually slaughters the Marines and will kill reinforcements, so the Adepts can sit in that mineral line. There's not enough production to deal with this. This is so frustrating for the Terran player. Widowmine comes down, but he's already killed like 9 workers, stopped mules, and of course cut off reinforcements. This has delayed production severely for Forte, who, by the way, again, still has his starport on the wrong side of the map. Say wrong here very briefly, because maybe this Banshee pays him back for that damage done, right? Cloak's about to finish up, and Oracle, I think, does he have one at home? Okay, Revelation gets cast. He's good. Phoenix clean this up. Forte gets shut down. Patience. Definitely looking good here with that worker count. 41 probes to 26 SCVs. Ouch. No third CC. You know, sometimes you'll see this situation come down and you can at least argue, well, the Terran with the third CC's got the production, the mules, the means to come back from this, but this Banshee has to cloak prematurely. So, I mean, Revelation still gets cast, but that's already bad enough. Supply block means this other Banshee hadn't even started yet. This is so horrible for Forte. Patience at this point, I wouldn't say has necessarily straight up won the game, but he's basically done that, you know? He doesn't quite catch the Widowmine. That could have gone straight to the natural if he was really gung-ho about it, but yeah, just camping above the starport. Anything that comes out of this is going to die. So Forte should probably cancel that Banshee. The Adept force coming in is not that strong. He could go past the bunker, of course. Deep was erased. Just cancel that? No, he goes through with the transfer. Okay, a little bit risky. Risky click there. He lets the Widowmine burrow again, though, so even though he splits the Adepts, he still takes some pretty nasty damage. Focuses down the mules. Really just laying into the economy here of Forte, knowing he had already done a lot of damage to this. Siege tank even comes out. Bit funny to see. As the Adepts continue to dance around, any SCVs killed here really sting, as he's already on a pretty low worker count. Widowmine, though, gets overcharged. He is paying attention, so the odd probe here and there is going to go down, but he had policed that starport really well. This Oracle, like I said, fried up some of the siege tank. I saw it lose some health up there. Yeah, so this is a pretty rough spot for Forte. If you're a Terran fan out there, you better start praying. And if you're a Protoss fan, well, don't start celebrating too prematurely. But this is looking like a really good game 3 for Patience. He's had the opening. He's had the early game all in his favor. Widowmine marches down the middle of the map. At best, that's going to catch like a random unit, right? Like maybe it catches the Oracle, maybe it just pops off on some of the Phoenix. I mean, we see random Widowmines like this all the time. Hopefully Patience knows to look for it. That's going to hit one of the Phoenix. That's going to sting. Oh, he retargets it. Oh, that was, oh, beautiful. I'm sorry, guys. I don't know if anyone caught that. Like, that was actually manual focus fire at a Forte to swap that at the very last second. Otherwise, he would have just simply damaged all the units and wouldn't have killed anything. Instead, now kills the Oracle. That was, you know, I don't think we see a lot of attentive Widowmine micro, but that was cool to see. But he'll need a lot more than that to get back into this game. He's still behind in a pretty bad way. No third CC, no third base, work account still fairly low, but tech's finishing up for him, right? He's going to have a timing attack here that might not be too bad. His +1 weapons is done. This starport was temporarily shut down, but never permanently shut down. So a Banshee comes towards the main. But I think, yeah, there's an observer. So Cloak won't be an issue. Overcharge will take care of this. He just now has to really focus on this push. And a stasis trap, oh, brilliant. Catches a good chunk of the Marines. This will stall out some of the push, but not stop the tanks directly. Overcharge does kill the Banshee in the main. Only a couple probes died to this. How many dead total for both? 12 and 20? Not bad. But I think what's scary is, like, you could say, all right, well, with good tank positioning, you could shut down the Stalkers, and the Patience this army looks weak. But that's where those 3 Phoenix come in, right? They can just lift up the tanks and take them right out of the fight, exactly as he does it, too. Now, he does lose the Phoenix for this, but that lets the Stalkers get in there pretty quick. Patience will lose the armored units, maybe, but he's got the army to win through this, and the Adepts take out the tanks. Even some of the Stalkers live, even the Sentries live, which are fragile as hell, and new weapons on the other side of the map shut down this third CC. Looking bad for Forte right now, guys. Down to 25 army supply, only a small handful of units, no bunker, no Widowmines to fall back to. And of course his starports, I guess he got a second one at home. That's kind of nice, but this is so rough. Looks like that Banshee catches him a little off guard in the natural base. Gonna get away with quite a few probe kills, but that's not gonna make up for possibly losing the game here. Big attack in the main still can't be easily dealt with. SCVs are pulled into it. Natural base under attack simultaneously, and this is looking really good for Patience. Forte just doesn't have the troops. GG. Patience will advance to the brackets. GG. But all right, folks, there's actually some order here in terms of like what we're casting next, and I don't know what the order is just yet. I'm gonna go confirm with the admins. I'll let you guys know here in a moment. I think we're doing 2 matches at a time, so one on ESL SC2, one on ESL SC2B. I'm not sure which one will be here, but I'm just going to mute myself while we go to a break and find things out. So thanks for watching so far. Hopefully you're enjoying the qualifiers. I am Rifkin from Base Trade TV, for anyone who doesn't recognize the voice, and I'll see you guys here soon.